I was going to wait a little bit to start the episode, but I'm writing down my notes and I made a great joke, so I'm going to make that joke again. I was writing down my notes because I didn't write notes for this show, and I probably should have. I was writing down characters, and I was like, I never knew his full name. I just knew him as Docky. I know they said it in the show, but I was like,
and the only reason I remember his name was Docky, from the bulk on, is when there's the joke about having an uncle Docky.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I didn't know his full name was Iko Dio Docky, and I was like, oh, it sounds really stupid when I say it, but when Dennis Haysbert says it, he's like, I'm Iko Dio Docky. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, you're cool.
That's a cool way to say that.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, man. Welcome to R2-BD, friends. My name is Joey.
I'm Jacob.
And we like it a Star War. We're talking the Star War. Let's talk about the Star War. We're talking about Maul Shadow Lore today. I'm still writing my notes as we talk.
Notes are actively being taken right now.
This is how this episode's going. We put off this episode for so long because of reasons. If you've been keeping up on the channel, on community posts or on Patreon, our father passed away.
Yeah.
Recording was delayed a little bit. That happened like mere days after the finale of Maul aired.
Yes.
So we're here.
So we're here now. Notes never taken.
Yeah. Taking my notes now. I think I'm satisfied with that. I think we'll go with that, and we'll call that my notes.
There we go.
We'll call that my notes. All right. Welcome to R2-BD. Yeah, we're talking Maul Shadow Lord. Man, the next. Okay. So first off, spoiler discussion. If you haven't seen Maul Shadow Lord season 1, we're talking spoilers for Maul Shadow Lord season 1. Also, if you haven't seen our last episode of R2-BD, we are continuing the Cal Kestis saga. That's been going on. We're taking a small break in between because there are current Star Wars projects coming out.
The current stuff trumps something that'll take a while to do.
But after this, and after our next episode of The Mandalorian and Grogu, we'll be getting right back to all those fun shenanigans with the final installment of that, at least for now, with Jedi Survivor. I believe there were rumors of the third game being in some sort of development.
I remember hearing something about this.
But yeah, no official announcements yet, which means we're ending on Survivor for now, which is fine. Maul Shadow Lord, though. This is the latest installment of the Clone Wars universe.
I was gonna say like the animated universe stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because let's talk about I guess I'd like to begin this by talking about history of Star Wars animation and how we kind of get to this point and how that segment of Lucasfilm has evolved over the years. Because we have this tiny startup essentially with the Lucasfilm animation team that begins Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. It's a George Lucas passion project. He orders 100 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. And
who's going to air it doesn't matter.
Yeah, whether a network buys it or not, George Lucas is making these 100 episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and they're going to exist somehow. He ended up making more, and we love that for him. But here's the thing. This is also the reason that we have never seen Star Wars Detours. Do you know Star Wars Detours? Are you aware of this?
Yes.
There was the comedy series. They made 40 odd episodes of Star Wars Detours. Never gonna see them. We're just never gonna see them. Did you know this?
No, I didn't actually.
We have trailers. We have clips of it. But no, a full episode never aired. It was made right before the Disney sale.
Okay.
And that's that.
Exist.
They exist. They're out there. We'll never see them.
They'll be leaked eventually, I'm sure.
I don't know. It's been a long time. I'm starting to doubt. For all the people that were really anticipating Star Wars Detours, it kind of looked like not great show. But whatever. So Star Wars: The Clone Wars happens. The Disney buyout happened. I keep saying
buyout's definitely the wrong word.
I keep catching myself saying buyout. It's not a buyout. George Lucas willingly sold his company for billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Anyway. The animation team, obviously we see value in the animation team despite canceling the Clone Wars. We make Star Wars Rebels. That ends up becoming the next sort of big step in the direction of Star Wars animation. That becomes the first big Disney Star Wars animation project. Eventually that show ends. The Disney Plus era by now has taken off. We put money back into this team with finishing out the Clone Wars. We do Clone Wars the final season. Mm-hmm. We invest some time in the Tales series. We make our next big venture with the Bad Batch. This whole time the animation is growing. The team is growing. Filoni gets a little bit more hands-off over the years as other people begin to take over. And of course now Filoni will be extra hands-off as he is running the entire damn company.
Yeah.
Well, half the company. The creative side of the company.
Yes.
Buffalo gets a little more hands-off over the years. The animation continues to soar and excel and be amazing looking.
The quality of animation just skyrockets across time.
Yeah, some of the finest animated television you'll ever see, I think. You know, and especially to this point, we have Maul Shadowlord. Was such a first off, the first thing, which is really to my first point that I really want to bring up about this show, the style. It is not, because here's the thing. I think with Bad Batch, and this might be controversial, I think we actually peaked with Star Wars animation with the Bad Batch. I think just visually, that had the best visual direction that a Star Wars show could ever possibly look, especially in the 3D animated style. Mm-hmm. You know, we've never really gone all in on 2D Star Wars aside from the Jenny Tarkovsky Clone Wars. And that, Forces of Destiny, I know that's a thing that existed. I never watched that.
I remember seeing some of them.
But yeah, those things existed. I've seen all of Droids and Ewoks as well,
yes,
which are a wild ride. Have nothing to do with today's conversation, but are super duper fun. But the Bad Batch, I always thought was kind of like the best that 3D animated Star Wars could ever look. Maul Shadowlord comes around, and I think kind of acknowledges this, and instead says, "Okay, we're not going to try to do something better. We're going to try to do something different." And there is still the hallmark of what a 3D Star Wars animated show should look like. Mm-hmm. The character models move much the same. The design team very much is taking the same approach to this show that they have with previous projects, but the execution is so vastly different.
Yes,
there's a different style to this. The action sequences look and feel so different because of this really cool sort of brushstroke style we give to our lightsabers, the way our characters move, the way they interact with one another, the way they interact with the sets. The sets are super different too. Fully painted backgrounds, and you can tell they're actually painted. You can see the fucking brushstrokes in the trees. I haven't seen brushstrokes in the trees since 2D animated Star Wars back in the 80s. It's great. It is such a different style, and I think for good reason, because Darth Maul as a character, I don't think, if he's leading his own show, leading his own thing, needs to have his own distinct style. And I really appreciate this for that reason. I mean,
just when the trailers for this show came out, that was one of the first things that stuck out, the style of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is different. It is very different. And Darth Maul himself looks different as well. When you do this huge close-up on his face, like, again, you could see kind of like brushstroke looks across his face. Like, you could just see, like, this is a drawn, painted, animated character, like someone that is being brought to life by sheer artistry, and that is just, I think, telling us a Star Wars story in that way kind of takes me back to also Tarkovsky's Clone Wars as well. That idea of telling stories through art, telling stories through tradition with the cave paintings in Clone Wars Volume 2.
Yes,
I love that idea. I think it works especially when you're doing somewhat spiritual Star Wars like this. Is it weird to call this spiritual Star Wars?
I mean, there's definitely spiritual elements to it. I don't know if I'd call the whole thing spiritual, but I take your meaning.
There's an element of examining the cosmos of Star Wars in this, in the way that this is a story that wants to examine good versus evil, and Star Wars is this constant battle between good versus evil, and you see how all these different projects sort of want to tackle that topic, but Maul especially, because I think this is the first ever Star Wars TV show. I think, hang on, racking my brain, first ever Star Wars TV show or movie where the protagonist of the thing is a bad guy,
like explicitly,
just straight up is a bad guy. You've seen him do horrible things in the past, and we're kind of here to see him do more horrible things. But I think the great sort of bait and switch that this show does is that it pulls you in with wanting that, and knows that you don't actually want that. Mm-hmm. One of my big complaints with, I think, Disney era Star Wars in general, is not the way they handle it. Well, it is sort of
sometimes
the way they respond to fans. Disney Star Wars is apt to give in to fan demands. It's how we get things like the sequel trilogy. You know,
yeah.
I like the sequel trilogy mostly. But you could definitely see those fan demands sort of taking root.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is a show that says, okay, cool, we're going to give you a Maul TV show. And everyone's like, cool, we're going to see Maul killing people left and right. He's going to swing his fucking sword and he's going to kill these fucking people. No. Maul's going to examine Star Wars. We're going to examine good versus evil. And we're going to see it through Maul's perspective. And,
which at the end becomes evil versus evil.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. My point really is just, fans don't know what they want. They don't.
No.
Like, tell a story we actually feel like we tell a story that you think we need. You know, rather we don't know what we want. I gotta be real.
Like in a roundabout way, there was some very some time ago a phone in the early 2010s that was like a modular phone. You could build it in a specific way you wanted. You wanted more camera, you got a better camera.
Mm-hmm. That
phone failed because there was people don't know what they want.
Yeah,
people want pre-built phones.
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know. It's just very. A great approach to this. Talking about Maul himself and getting into what Maul's philosophy is in this. Yes, the bulk of this show is Maul looking for an apprentice. It is him trying to make an apprentice out of Devin, not an ex-Jedi. Well, I guess now ex-Jedi.
Now ex-Jedi, yeah, I suppose.
But by yet again another Order 66 survivor. I just wanted to take another moment to go on my rant again about why I don't care about Order 66 survivors. I don't care. I do care about the characters.
Right.
I don't care. I don't have a complaint. I don't have a problem with more of them existing. I just don't.
And we've said this before, either on here or in our personal lives. These conversations tend to get muddled because we have so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
But like so many of these survivors are young.
Yeah.
Because they're being protected by the older generation that is dying to protect them.
Yeah. Rare case though in this case, because we have Iko Diodaki. Iko Diodaki. Gotta try to do it like Dennis Haysbert. It's hard to do. He's so good. That's my god. Sorry, I didn't mean to do it to you mid.
Yeah, sorry, I was
mid-drink. For those that don't know, Dennis Haysbert plays God in Lucifer, and he's really good.
He's really good.
He's so good. So he plays Daki. We have Daki and Devin here as first off, a really cool examination of what Order 66 survivors can be. Most Jedi we see surviving Order 66 we see as people just looking to survive, trying to find a way to evade the Empire constantly. They are still doing this as well.
And Devin is kind of like Devin. That's kind of Devin's starting narrative position.
Yeah,
that Master Daki really doesn't want them to be.
Yeah, but what ends up happening with these guys, and what ends up being both of their downfall for the death of Daki and the turning of Devin in the end, is that they can't. Oh god, this just hit me just now. It's the Thrawn thing. It's no. Wait, is it Thrawn that says it, or is it the Grand Inquisitor? It's the Grand Inquisitor, I think.
Go ahead, just what?
I forget what project it's in. The whole Jedi can't help their nature thing. They have to help. They have to try to do this.
Oh, it's one of them.
Is it in the Obi-Wan show? Does the Grand Inquisitor say that?
It might be the Grand Inquisitor.
That might be that. I really like that sentiment. I really like the whole idea that if you or in this case were actually a Jedi during the era of the Republic, and you actually believed in their ideals, that thing is ingrained in you. That literal indoctrination in you from when you were a child, it's always there.
Yeah.
And when you see injustice in the world, and you see a literal war criminal that you were fighting against during the Clone Wars, that same guy, he's still around. You see Darth Maul out there. They gotta try to do something about it, right?
Yeah.
That's what a Jedi would do, right? They have to go out and try to do something about this. And it ends up fucking them both over in the end. I really like that idea.
Oh, absolutely.
But unrelated to the point I was actually trying to make, I just had that revelation. That was really cool. But the point I was actually trying to make was that I really love the way the show tries to parallel Maul's journey. Sometimes in incredibly direct ways, like with the flashbacks in episode 8, I believe.
Yeah, episode 8.
But then, but also in just the way the show presents itself. There are a lot of great musical cues that homage specific John Williams bits.
Yes.
We of course have Duel of the Fates, and we have, importantly, I find really, really interesting here, Battle of Heroes.
That was interesting whenever it came up.
Which led me to believe something at the end of the show that didn't end up becoming true. Thought it might have. I don't know. I kind of thought that foreshadowing Battle of Heroes as a theme throughout the show would have led to Devin turning on Daki in the end.
After having seen the whole show and after some thought on that particular that potential storyline,
Mm-hmm.
is I don't think realistic that was an option,
Mm-hmm.
because Devin was never going to turn on Daki, because I don't think Maul could ever have a strong enough presence without Daki being there literally.
Yeah, that's true.
But one is literally their master, the other wants to be their master.
Yeah. And also to that point of on the parallels, we do parallel Duel of the Fates, the actual battle from the end of The Phantom Menace, a lot throughout this show.
We do.
We do that a lot because we see, we portray Devin and Daki side by side as that Obi-Wan Qui-Gon pairing. Sometimes specifically against Darth Maul again, but also against other foes, let's say.
Yeah.
Actually, this is important. I was going to wait until later to bring up Darth Vader, but I think bringing up Darth Vader now is important since I'm on the point of the Duel of the Fates. I love the way that we end up paralleling the death of Qui-Gon Jinn with Daki in the end with Maul, or sorry, with Vader.
Yes.
And to a slightly different point, and something that we could play around a bit more with these smaller scale stories and in animation, where we can be a bit more, a bit less objective about what our characters are seeing and doing. You know, when you're shooting for film, especially the way that George Lucas shoots Star Wars, because George Lucas is a creative man, not exactly the most creative shot-to-shot director, but he shoots things very literally. I love the death of Daki at Vader's hands in the final episode, because we see it from Devon's perspective. We play around with her literally not being there in time. Obi-Wan, when he loses Qui-Gon, is forced to watch the entire thing. We're forced to watch the entire thing as an audience. But when Devon sees it, it's already happened. Vader's removing his blade from Daki, and it's over already. And that rage consumes her possibly even greater, because there was nothing she could do about it, and she was too late, and she saw just barely the aftermath of it all.
She was seconds away from not seeing any of it.
Yeah. I guess I'll talk about Vader a bit more into that now, since we're on the topic.
Sure.
Yeah. I really love... I was talking with my own friend about this, about Vader's portrayal in this. Fucking horror movie villain, Darth Vader.
He is a horror monster in this.
Yeah. Full on, like... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, for what? A whole episode?
Whole episode.
He is saying no words, it's just his breathing.
Yeah.
And he is just crushing the scenery to get to these people.
Yeah. God, it's so good. First of all, also, actually, before we talk about his final episode and the way he's portrayed in that, I love his entrance at the end of episode 9.
Oh my God.
Vanessa Marshall did an interview, I believe. She said that they asked her how... Vanessa Marshall plays Rook. Vanessa Marshall is Hera from Rebels. She plays Rook. She's fantastic in this. But she was asked how she thought that Rook died, and she was like, I guess like Filoni, I believe, asked her, or somebody on the team asked her, like, what they think Rook's canon death was. And, like, so I guess, as far as we know, this is canon. She believes that Rook's, I think, organs were pulled out of her mouth with the Force.
Oh,
like,
that's what?
It's horrifying.
That's
horrifying.
Jesus.
I don't think we could ever show in any Star Wars project ever. But pretty fucking great. And I love, first off, the imagination of it all. Pretty great. I've never imagined Darth Vader killing somebody that way.
Never. My God.
But to that point, horror movie villain. The guy is shot with, you know, our cameras that we have in animation. He's shot and he moves like fucking Jason Voorhees. He's slow. He's methodical. It's not even so much the Rogue One thing. The Rogue One thing is very fast paced. It's very like, she's coming down the hall slowly, but he's still, you know, dodging every fucking blaster bolt and deflecting them and like super fast. But they don't really decide to portray Vader that way in this show. He's a lot more slow, very methodical, like I said, and I think that it's such a smart choice, especially because it's a show that it's an appearance of Vader that wants to really take in the presence itself, because importantly, we're not doing voice acting for Vader. This is, I imagine, because you know James Earl Jones is dead, unfortunate obviously, but this is also because I imagine we don't want to mess around with the messy business of AI and trying to portray the character that way. I know James Earl Jones signed his voice away. I just don't want that. And then also, I guess I would have preferred, you know, having, I think what's his name? I think Scott Lawrence is his name, the guy that does all the video game Vader appearances. Yeah. He's fantastic. But you know, there is still an argument to be made for just doing voiceless Vader in general.
I do wonder. I don't mean to cut off your point, but I do wonder if having Vader be this slow, methodical, Voorhees-like horror movie monster is to compare what true horror can look like, compared to the Inquisitors, who are very fast, who do talk, who can be kind of quippy even if you let them. I think
Vader perfectly contrasts that, especially when we have great transition. We have Marok and the 11th Brother in this. I believe the 11th Brother also has the name of Crow. I think I don't know if it's actually like his canon name.
I'm not sure.
Some people call him Crow, and I mean obviously it makes sense. He's got the big crow.
That could simply be a reference to his appearance.
But we have Marok back as well. interesting, the most characterized Marok we've ever seen so far, because he was already dead in Ahsoka, and he made like a wordless appearance in Tales of the Empire, I believe, in the Inquisitorius.
Yeah.
But 11th Brother is interesting to have back as well, because he was also had a small appearance, I think, in Tales of the Empire. If not, of course, he was also definitely in Tales of the Jedi with Ahsoka.
Definitely that. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting to see the two of them, two of the most, I will say, forgettable Inquisitors, because it's just, I don't care about them that much. Cool appearances there here though, and also, I mean, I think you want characters like those two Inquisitors to just have them be a presence, something strong, quick, powerful for Maul to fight, and to test Devin in as well. I think it's just really smartly done. You don't necessarily need great characters for it. It would help, certainly. But also it's a pretty stuffed show as it is. There are a lot of characters here, so
yeah.
Whatever. They make some great action sequences though. I really, really love them. I also love a lot of our side characters in this. First off, before we get into some of the more good guy protagonists, I want to talk about some more of our bad guy protagonists, because we have like I already mentioned Rook. We have Vario, who's our little comic relief bad guy. He's very fun.
He's funny.
I do enjoy him. I like the initial twist of him being inside the big robot suit. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
We have Spybot, who I love.
I love him.
Spybot so much. Please, Maul, rebuild him for season 2. I want him back.
Spybot is a great droid.
I love him. He's such a sassy little man.
He like speaks normally, which makes him extra hilarious. The longer you listen to him, you can understand him properly. You start to understand Spybot. Which is only a thing that works if you're like us and you don't watch with subtitles. That's also true.
Yeah. But yeah, such a fun character. I don't know why we chose him to kill him off at the end. Probably because the audience would love him, and it just makes me sad. We also have a number of I don't know if you ever learn their names, but we have a number of Zabrak brothers of Maul.
I think they might have said their names once or twice. I think they definitely call out at least one of them when one of them dies.
Yeah, more ways to parallel Maul's story throughout it all, because we have the whole death of his brother and the sacrifice, etc.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy seeing that. To the point of paralleling Maul's story, actually, I learned that Sam Witwer, in addition to playing Maul, obviously, does little Savage in the flashbacks in episode 8. And he also does, because he has to play, I forget where he's played Palpatine before, but he did Palpatine in those flashbacks as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's very fun. He has a good Palpatine voice. I forget what he did it in, though. I want to say it was like a video game or something.
I mean, a video game would be the most logical option. But
was he Palpatine in Force Unleashed? He was obviously Starkiller in Force Unleashed, but
it's possible.
I don't know.
Something to look at later.
I forget. I know he's in I know I've heard of him as Palpatine before, and it's really good. I can't remember where now. But yeah, he just pulling double, triple duty for that guy. He's awesome. I also love, to that point of the flashbacks, I love that sequence in episode 8 with seeing Maul's initial death, quote unquote death, in the Phantom Menace from his perspective.
And it looks terrifying.
Yeah, as Obi-Wan like slices forward. It's cool. It's really cool. We also have a small appearance in the last couple episodes from Dryden Voss, not played by Paul Bettany, because I guess we can't pay Paul Bettany for that.
For brief TV animation appearances.
Yeah, I guess you could make the argument that he's slightly younger, but also not that much younger. It's not that much longer before Solo. So, I don't know. The guy playing him doesn't exactly sound like Paul Bettany either. Like, I don't know.
It's really more his appearance that'll drive, like, oh, this is who I'm looking at.
Yeah. I'll be curious how we get into the Crimson Dawn plot in season 2, though. I'll be curious to see, like, how the show wants to tackle Maul's journey through all that, and what kind of places him... Because he wasn't...
Because the show definitely wants to be like, oh, you'll work for me. Then, like, Solo is very much like, oh, I work for you? No.
Was Maul explicitly the head of Crimson Dawn in Solo? I don't think he was.
That's how it read when I watched the film.
Here's the thing also. I know there's a whole Crimson Dawn arc in the Star Wars comics at some point.
I do remember hearing
there's a book about Kira as well. So I don't know how much all of that will adhere to what those books and comics have done before. In general, Star Wars animation and shows and movies in general.
Yeah, we've said this before. Visual media is always trumps any other media.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I don't know. I'll be curious to see how it delves in. I mean, here's the thing. Also, Sam Witwer's a big owner, and he's an executive producer on the show. So I know he always kind of has some say when it comes to Star Wars canon. He
had say during Solo.
Yeah, he is the reason that that Maul's appearance in Solo is so true to the character from Clone Wars. Because I think he corrected the lightsaber that they had.
Yeah, it was. He's like,
no, we wouldn't have that fucking lightsaber. He's like, have this one, dumbass. He's great.
I'm surprised they actually went with that suggestion still at the time.
Yeah. Well, I think also I did learn this recently. For Maul's appearance in Solo, obviously we know Ray Park did the body for that, and Sam Witwer dubbed over it. But initially, they had the original voice actor who played Maul in Phantom Menace do the voice, and then they replaced him with Sam Witwer.
Really?
Yes. I don't know. I don't think it was the exact same scene. I think they might have reshot the scene at some point.
Okay.
But yeah, at some point it was someone. It was the other guy, and I can't think of his name now. The guy that did the voice in the Phantom Menace. But that is one line. At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi.
Yes.
That's the whole
his one line.
Yeah. So Sam Witwer is obviously the way to go. He just is Maul. He's so good. He's also the guy that I would argue made Maul a character, like an actual character.
Yeah. Instead of just the cool looking dude.
Yeah. And he is a cool looking dude. It is undeniable. But no, I love Sam Witwer. But yeah, let's talk about our more good guy protagonists in this, because there are actually a few, if you can believe it. And even then, some of them are
they're kind of skirting the line of true goodness.
Yeah. We have the Lawson family with Brander Lawson and O'Reilly Lawson. And we have Two Boots. My boy Two Boots.
I love Two Boots.
Two Boots. He's so fun. He's also the reason all this shit goes down.
The story goes so sideways because of Two Boots.
Yeah, poor guy. You know what I really love about this, though? This felt somewhat inspired, if I may, by Andor. The way we view local governments in this, like how
I think that's, to me, that feels like an absolutely correct read.
Yeah,
that I think Andor did so much to point out to to fans, and I assume the Star Wars writing teams, to go, no, the Empire didn't literally run everything.
Yeah. Like, it also, this is also so new for Star Wars animation in general. Like, we've never really done domestic life in Star Wars animation before. I guess, like, we've seen people living their normal day-to-day lives, but these are always, like, clone troopers, Jedi, people that are part of these big armies or whatever. These are just guys, like, Lawson works for the local government, and his son plays a dumb school sport. Like, you know, like that's
he's like the lead detective or whatever.
Yeah, and that's all it is. These are just guys on the ground living a day-to-day life, and I really, really enjoy seeing that. It reminds me so much of how we find Cyril Karn early on in Andor.
Oh, absolutely.
This is just a guy that, yeah, sure, he's not like, he's so ridiculously far down the totem pole, and he's so far under the Empire's foot. They don't know who this guy is, but he believes in the Empire. Lawson doesn't necessarily believe in the Empire.
No, if anything, he has every reason to never want them to touch his planet ever.
But his woman, or I guess rather his ex-woman?
Yeah, his ex.
Yeah.
His ex.
Is very much of the Empire. And I find that really interesting. I would like to see more of her. I would really, because first of all, I don't think Lawson's dead. I think he's still definitely around.
We didn't see the body, and Star Wars logic dictates that doesn't actually mean he's dead.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see Lawson again in season 2. And obviously a lot more of his son. So we'll see how that kind of continues to develop in the second season. And I want to see his mother. I want to see how... First of all, I want to see exactly where she lies within the grander scheme of the Empire. I want to see, like, just how deep in it she is.
I mean, we could probably rewatch it and get a sense to see if... I know that the badges in Star Wars are bullshit. Mm-hmm. But they have become kind of standard in animation, so we might be able to gauge it by looking at that again.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I'm just really curious about that. I want to see like how deep that goes. But I just love that. I'll always praise it. It's what I just endlessly praised Andor for. It's just that ground level perspective. Just, I don't know, what is just life like under the Empire? It fucking sucks. First off,
obviously,
but people are just trying to live. Like, fuck. It's like living in the real world. It really is. Like you're
trying
how do you
make a living.
Yeah. How do you continue to survive? What radicalizes you? What changes your perspective? How do you stay sane in the midst of all of this? It's these are fascinating questions that there is no clear-cut answer for.
His mother, I thought, would make an appearance in this season. I know I told you when we were watching the show itself that I was like, I feel like she's going to be part of that force that lands.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And it would have been like, I thought like part of the narrative would have been Riley deciding, is he like pro with his dad, and therefore I assumed at this point in this first episode, by episode like 6, I had come to this thought. But like pro his dad, and also at that point probably the Jedi.
Yeah.
Or is he going to be like turned to be with his mom?
Yeah.
That did not happen, obviously.
Yeah, and I think also like right now, since Riley thinks his dad was killed by the Empire,
he's going to be pretty anti-mom.
Which I think may also make for an even more fascinating reunion between the two of them eventually. That'll be fascinating to see. I think we're on schedule to. I think season 2 comes out next year still. I think we're still getting that next year still. I would imagine so. They did. Here's the thing. It's easy to forget. But Star Wars doesn't necessarily adhere to the same bullshit release schedule of a lot of streaming shows in the streaming era, because Star Wars is Star Wars, and they're going to put the money into making Star Wars.
Because, if nothing else, because Star Wars makes the money back.
Yeah. Bad Batch released a season every year.
They did, that's true.
Yeah. So, I think, I'm pretty sure we're on track to getting season 2 next year, and maybe until it's actually properly renewed, maybe we'll have an extra year between seasons 2 and 3, assuming we get more.
That's assuming like the show can't either narratively close itself up in a season 2, or they just don't get a season 3.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Filoni, he would probably just keep renewing this show right up until we see Maul was Malachor in Rebels. He'll probably keep making it up to that point. So who knows how long we'll keep it going. I see a hopefully a long prosperous future for a show that I was just surprised to know was even going to happen. You know, it's such an interesting direction to take Star Wars after the Bad Batch, and just to continue to examine what, first off, this time period is like for regular people on the ground, but also an interesting character to take as your protagonist. Maul is such an atypical protagonist. He's not going to adhere to the same rules as the Bad Batch or the Rebels gang. You know,
no. Maul explicitly will go any length.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really like that. I mean, I want to say I had some ideas post Bad Batch about what I would like to see the next step for Star Wars animation be, and right now I just can't remember what they are. I don't know what ideas I had.
Yeah, I
what other kind of
remember
3D animated shows I would like to see, but I'm happy with Maul, with the Maul thing right now. I would still like to see more Tales series. I would like to see more stuff within the realm of Tales stuff. I know people have been clamoring for something to see Luke Skywalker in 3D animation. Tales of the Rebellion. I want to see it. I'd be down.
Tales of the Rebellion would be the next obvious choice. Outside of doing season 2's of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm also still clamoring for some sequel era stuff. I would like to see Tales of the First Order. I'd like to see Tales of the Resistance.
Of the Resistance, yeah.
You know? Who knows?
I think that the reasons that maybe the different discussion. I will only say this. The reasons, like as a creative team, maybe they're skirting like the Rebellion, the Resistance, because Leia is heavy in both of those.
Yeah, I mean, if you do the First Order though as well, like
the First Order, you don't need to worry about that one.
I mean, God knows we need a Snoke one. Like we need a. Well, I will take Tales of the Snoke. I will take Tales of the Snoke, and I will get 6 episodes about Snoke and explain his bullshit.
The first episode was just the cloning of that.
Yeah. It's all in like first person POV. It's all like you're just inside the vat.
It's 6 minutes of occasionally Palpatine walking by.
Doing his little laugh. And he just goes on with his day. Oh god. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, again, I'm excited for season 2. I would like to know what else the animation team is up to though. And hey, we're also we're entering hopefully a new era of live action Star Wars. We're getting movies regularly back into the theaters.
Yeah.
We got Mandalorian and Grogu, which will already be out by the time this episode comes out, but we have not seen it yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
We have Starfighter next year. They're doing a Star Wars 50th anniversary re-release next year.
I'm so excited about that.
We have Ahsoka season 2 on the horizon. All kinds of fun stuff coming up. I'm so excited for where live action and animated Star Wars is going. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool stuff. I really like it. I'm also excited for things we're doing on R2-BD as well.
Oh god, yeah.
Things we're covering there, because this is mostly an expanded universe show. We mostly only cover live action and animation stuff when it's new and when it's first
we usually try to not do all things that are happening now.
Well, I think older things. Yeah, exactly. So But yeah, I guess that is it for us today. Man, this is great. I love Maul Shadow Lord. I really,
it was really good.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Was not what I expected it to be, but it is exactly what I needed it to be. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'll take it. You know what the dear people watching this need though?
What do they need?
They need our Patreon. Patreon.com/BloodedStudios. You can all kinds of fun things there, like early Star Trek reviews, exclusive Star Trek commentaries, fresh-faced extras, bad movie commentaries, and if you're not into any of that, although there is so very much of it, there's a $1 general support tier. It is the cadet tier. It'll get your name down below on every video we put out. People will see your name down there. They'll see you're a cool person, and they want to be a cool person too, and they will join the Patreon. That is exactly how it goes. I have it on good authority. Next time on R2-BD, we're talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Lots of fun stuff coming up there. We're also, after that, we're doing Jedi Survivor. We're going to play through that. We're going to talk about that on the channel. If you haven't seen our previous Cal Kestis saga things, we covered Fallen Order, Dark Temple, and Battle Scars. Those are all out right now. You can check those out at this very moment. After that, who knows? We'll see. We'll keep you guys updated. All right. I guess that does it for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Joey Morgan.
I'm Jacob.
Goodbye.